Have you ever wondered why your creatinine keeps rising? Even though you eat healthy, avoid salt, and drink plenty of water. What if I told you that the very foods you trust the most, the ones you've been told for years are good for your heart and energy, might be quietly destroying your kidneys right now? Every hour, without pain or warning, millions of tiny filters inside you are suffocating under pressure, struggling to clear out toxins they were never meant to handle in such amounts. You can't feel it yet, not until one morning your legs feel heavier, your energy crashes, and the doctor frowns at your blood test. That's how silent kidney damage begins, not with pain, but with repetition, one wrong food choice at a time. This isn't a story about disease, it's a wake-up call. I'm Dr. Johnny, and today I want to show you how 4 everyday proteins, the ones sitting right in your fridge, can slowly choke your kidneys, raise your blood pressure, and push you toward chronic kidney disease long before you ever feel a symptom. But don't panic, because the same science that reveals the danger also gives us hope. There are 3 gentle kidney-safe proteins that can do the opposite: help your body flush creatinine, reduce inflammation, and rebuild your filtration strength naturally. So stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll uncover what's really happening inside your body each time you eat these so-called healthy proteins, and how just one small change in your daily meals can mean the difference between lifelong dialysis or lifelong freedom. And remember, the next bite you take might be the turning point your kidneys have been waiting for. When most people hear the word protein, they immediately think of strength, energy, and vitality. For decades, organ meats, liver, heart, even kidneys have been praised as superfoods packed with iron, vitamin A, and amino acids. I used to believe that too, until I met Robert, a 62-year-old retired engineer, who came to my clinic complaining of constant fatigue and swollen ankles. His blood tests showed his creatinine had doubled in just 6 months. The shocking part, he wasn't eating junk food or drinking alcohol. He was eating liver twice a week because someone once told him it was good for his blood. Here's what Robert and millions like him never realized. Organ meats are loaded with purines, natural compounds that your body converts into uric acid. And when you're young and healthy, your kidneys can flush that acid out easily. But after 50, filtration slows down. That excess uric acid begins to crystallize, forming tiny glass shards that scrape the delicate filters inside your kidneys. The glomeruli, causing inflammation, scarring, and a slow, silent decline in kidney function. You won't feel pain at first, maybe just tiredness, a bit of swelling or cloudy urine. But inside, those filters are clogging up one meal at a time. Scientific studies back this up. A long-term analysis by the National Kidney Foundation followed over 23,000 adults above 60 for 5 years and found that people who ate organ meats 3 or more times per week had a 38% higher risk of reduced kidney function compared to those who didn't. That's not a coincidence, it's chemistry. Each serving floods your system with purines and nitrogen waste, forcing the kidneys to work overtime long after the meal is done. Imagine running your car engine at full speed every day. Eventually, the filter burns out. Your kidneys are no different. But here's the good news. You don't need to ban organ meats forever. What matters is how you handle them. A simple step can cut down a quarter of their purine load. Just soak the pieces in water with a splash of white vinegar for 30 minutes before cooking. This helps neutralize purines and remove the metallic odor, making the dish gentler on your kidneys. Always rinse thoroughly afterward and cook with minimal salt. Small adjustments like this can mean the difference between gradual decline and long-term protection. Still, knowledge is power only if you act on it, because the danger doesn't stop with organ meats. There's another everyday protein that hides behind the image of strength food, yet it triggers inflammation even faster. But knowing this first danger isn't enough, because what comes next is even more alarming. If organ meats are the spark that ignites kidney strain, then red meat is the fuel that keeps the fire burning quietly inside. After learning about purines, many people switch from liver to lean beef or pork, thinking they've made a smarter choice. But here's the truth. No one tells you even lean red meat can silently accelerate kidney damage through a completely different pathway: inflammation. I'll never forget one of my longtime patients, Linda, age 58. She had cut out fried foods, drank more water, and proudly told me she was eating healthy protein, grilled steak twice a week. Yet her creatinine climbed higher every visit. One day she asked Dr. Johnny, "I don't eat junk anymore. Why am I still so tired?" The answer was hidden in her dinner plate. Red meat is loaded with saturated fat and heme-iron, both of which trigger chronic low-grade inflammation. When you digest these fats, your liver releases inflammatory cytokines that travel straight through the bloodstream and into the kidneys. There they inflame the microscopic filters, the glomeruli, forcing them to squeeze harder to push blood through. Over time, that pressure damages the filter walls, reducing the kidney's ability to clear waste. It's like turning up the water pressure in an old hose. Eventually, small cracks appear, and the leak begins. You don't notice it right away, but slowly your body starts to feel heavier, more bloated, and more fatigued. Science backs this up in striking numbers. The Nurses' Health Study, which tracked more than 52,000 older adults for 8 years, discovered that those who ate red meat 4 or more times per week had a 42% higher rate of chronic kidney disease compared to those who ate it less than once a week. That means almost 1 in 2 heavy meat eaters are quietly heading toward kidney decline without realizing it. But awareness alone isn't enough. What matters is how you reduce the inflammatory load without giving up protein entirely. The solution is shockingly simple. Before cooking, marinate your red meat with turmeric and a squeeze of lemon or vinegar for 20 minutes. The curcumin in turmeric has been shown to cut systemic inflammation by nearly 15%. Lemon and vinegar help tenderize the meat and break down some of the harmful compounds formed during cooking. Then cook at a moderate temperature, avoid charring or blackened edges, because those burnt sections release toxins that add even more oxidative stress to the kidneys. Small tweaks like this don't just protect your kidneys, they preserve your strength. You still get your protein, but without the silent damage. Remember, your kidneys aren't asking you to give up everything, they're asking you to cook smarter. Still, even that's not where the story ends, because while red meat quietly fuels inflammation, there's another protein that disguises itself as convenient and modern, yet it's far more deceptive than anything you've seen so far. But knowing this danger alone isn't enough, because the next culprit hides right inside your refrigerator, and it's even more toxic than most people realize. If red meat is a slow-burning fire, then processed meat is gasoline poured right on top of it. After cutting down on steak, many people proudly switch to lighter options, turkey bacon sausages, ham, or deli sandwiches, believing they've made a healthy upgrade. But here's the harsh truth. Processed meats are among the most dangerous proteins for your kidneys, not because of their protein itself, but because of what's added to them. Let me share something unforgettable. A man named Harold, 71 years old, came to me after his blood pressure shot through the roof. He had given up red meat years ago and told me with confidence, "I only eat turkey ham now, doctor. It's lean and easy." But when we reviewed his diet, I realized he was eating hidden salt and phosphate bombs 3 times a week. His labs told the story: sky-high sodium elevated phosphate and an eGFR that had dropped nearly 12 points in 4 years. Harold wasn't unhealthy by choice. He was being poisoned by convenience. Here's what's really happening inside your body. Every slice of bacon or ham is packed with sodium nitrates and inorganic phosphates, ingredients that make the product last longer and taste better, but devastate your kidneys over time. Sodium spikes blood pressure, forcing your glomeruli, the kidney's microscopic filters, to push harder like an overworked pump. Meanwhile, phosphates seep into your bloodstream, binding with calcium and forming microscopic crystals that harden your blood vessels and kidney tissue. That's vascular calcification, the silent killer that makes your kidneys age years faster than they should. Science leaves no doubt about this. A study published in the Journal of Renal Nutrition followed 1,500 older adults who ate sausages or processed meats 3 or more times per week. After just 4 years, their average eGFR, a key measure of kidney filtration, dropped by 12 milliliters per minute, a sign of significant kidney stress and irreversible damage. 12 points may sound small, but for your kidneys, that's the difference between healthy function and early-stage disease. So what can you do if you love these foods? You don't need to abandon them entirely, you just need to outsmart them. Before cooking, soak your bacon, ham, or sausages in cold water for 10 minutes. This simple step removes up to 30% of the sodium and helps rinse off surface nitrates. Then cook at a moderate temperature, never over crisp or burn, to prevent the formation of extra toxic compounds. It's a small ritual, but it can save years of kidney health. Processed meats may be convenient, But your kidneys pay the price for that convenience every single day. Think of it this way. Would you trade 5 minutes of flavor for 5 years of life? Most people do it without realizing. Don't be one of them. But even after cutting back on processed foods, there's still a hidden trap waiting in something far more innocent. Something people drink every morning, thinking it builds strong bones and energy. And just knowing about this danger isn't enough because the next one looks harmless. Yet it quietly pushes your kidneys to exhaustion every single day. If processed meats are the salty bombs that strike from the outside, then full-fat milk is the silent weight pressing from within. It looks pure white and harmless, the very image of health we've been sold since childhood. But for aging kidneys, that creamy glass can quietly turn into a daily burden. Most people over 50 drink milk, believing it strengthens their bones, calms the stomach, or replaces lost protein. Yet few realize that full-fat milk is one of the most deceptive healthy foods for weakened kidneys. I remember a patient named Margaret, 65, who came to see me every 6 months. She had stopped eating red meat, avoided processed foods, and thought she was doing everything right. But her creatinine kept creeping up. When I reviewed her routine, she smiled and said, "Doctor, I've replaced my snacks with a glass of whole milk every morning. It keeps me strong." What she didn't know was that her healthy habit was quietly forcing her kidneys to work overtime. The problem isn't the milk itself, it's the case in the main protein found in full-fat dairy. Casein is dense, difficult to digest, and leaves behind large amounts of nitrogenous waste. For older adults whose kidney filtration rate is already slowing, that means extra work and extra stress every single day. Imagine running your washing machine non-stop. Eventually, even the best motor burns out. That's exactly what happens when the kidneys are forced to process heavy proteins without rest. Scientific data confirm this hidden risk. In the Framingham Heart Study, researchers tracked over 120 adults above 60 for 6 years. Those who drank 2 or more glasses of full-fat milk daily had a 33% higher chance of losing more than 5 milliliters of eGFR, a key measure of kidney function, compared to those who drank less. That's a clinically significant decline. And the more milk consumed, the faster the filtration loss. But here's where a simple change makes a world of difference. If you love milk, you don't have to give it up. You just have to prepare it smarter. Dilute your full-fat milk with warm water around 40 euros 45 Martinish and stir in a small pinch of cinnamon. The warmth helps break down casein, making it easier to digest, while cinnamon provides mild anti-inflammatory and antioxidant support for the kidneys. Drink it in the morning alongside fiber-rich foods like oats or apples to slow absorption and ease the load on your filtration system. Milk can still be comforting. It just needs a little wisdom behind it. Your kidneys aren't asking you to abandon nourishment. They're asking for balance. So the next time you pour that creamy glass, remember what feels soothing to the tongue might be straining the filters that keep you alive. But the story doesn't end here, because food isn't always the enemy. There are also powerful allies, proteins, that do the opposite, helping your kidneys heal lower creatinine and restore balance naturally. And knowing the dangers is only half the story, because what comes next reveals 3 simple kidney-safe proteins that can help you rebuild from the inside out. After realizing how full-fat milk quietly exhausts the kidneys, most people start avoiding dairy altogether. But what if I told you there's a way to turn dairy into one of your strongest kidney allies? It all comes down to one powerful combination: unsweetened yogurt mixed with ground flaxseed. This humble pairing has become one of the most surprising breakthroughs I've seen in my patients over the years. Let me tell you about Ellen, a 64-year-old retired teacher who walked into my clinic with years of fluctuating creatinine levels. She had stopped drinking milk after learning it was too heavy, but she often complained about bloating and irregular digestion. When I suggested she start her mornings with a small cup of plain yogurt topped with 1 spoon of ground flaxseed, she looked skeptical. "Doctor, I thought dairy was bad for kidneys." I smiled and told her, "Not this kind and not when it's done right." 2 months later, Ellen came back beaming. Her digestion had improved, her swelling was gone, and her eGFR, her filtration rate, had actually increased by 7 points. She wasn't on new medication. The only major change was her morning yogurt bowl. What happened inside her body is simple yet extraordinary. Unsweetened yogurt is rich in probiotics, live bacteria, that balance your gut microbiome and reduce systemic inflammation. one of the biggest hidden enemies of kidney health. When your gut is inflamed, toxins like urea and ammonia leak into the bloodstream, forcing the kidneys to work harder. Probiotics calm that storm, easing the burden on your filters and allowing smoother toxin elimination. Then comes the secret weapon, flaxseed. Ground flaxseed is packed with omega-3 fatty acids, lignans, and soluble fiber, all of which fight inflammation and stabilize blood sugar. The fiber binds excess phosphorus and cholesterol in the intestines, reducing what reaches the kidneys. Together, yogurt and flaxseed create a synergy that heals from both sides, the gut and the kidneys. Science supports this remarkable duo. The Gut Microbiome and Aging Study, which followed over 1,800 adults aged 65 and above, found that participants who consumed unsweetened yogurt at least 3 times per week saw an average 7 millimolar increase in eGFR after 12 months, a major improvement in kidney function. Those who added omega-rich seeds like flax to their diet maintained even better results. The recipe couldn't be easier. Each morning, take half a cup of plain, unsweetened yogurt, sprinkle 1 spoon of freshly ground flaxseed, and let it sit for a few minutes so the fiber can expand. Eat it slowly, ideally before coffee or heavy meals, to line your stomach with healthy bacteria and anti-inflammatory compounds. It's a simple ritual that rebalances your gut, strengthens your immunity, and most importantly, gives your kidneys the break they've been begging for. Your body isn't asking for perfection, just small, consistent habits that nurture instead of drain. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for that toast or cereal, think of your kidneys and feed them something that truly heals. But the journey doesn't stop with yogurt. There's another tiny seed often ignored, yet far more potent, that protects your kidneys on a cellular level, improves blood flow, and lowers your creatinine naturally. And knowing only this isn't enough, because the next one reveals a superfood so small it can transform your filtration power in just weeks. If yogurt and flaxseed help rebuild your kidneys from the inside out, chia seeds act like a microscopic army that guards them from constant attack. These tiny ancient seeds may look ordinary, but they hold one of the most powerful natural defenses against inflammation and creatinine buildup known to science. What makes chia special isn't just what it gives, it's what it prevents. I still remember Thomas, a 60-year-old accountant who came to me exhausted. He said, "Doc, I'm doing everything right, low salt, more water, no red meat, but my creatinine won't budge." I looked through his diet and noticed one gap: he had cut out all sources of omega-3 fats. His kidneys weren't just tired, they were inflamed. I asked him to add 1 tablespoon of soaked chia seeds to his morning routine for the next 3 months. He laughed, "That tiny stuff, it's not going to change anything." 3 months later, his lab results told a different story. Creatinine down by 0.4, blood pressure normalized, and his energy came back. Here's the hidden science behind that transformation. Chia seeds are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and soluble fiber. Omega-3s help lower levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key inflammation marker strongly linked to kidney damage. The antioxidants protect the delicate kidney vessels from oxidative stress, while the fiber slows sugar absorption and helps your body eliminate waste more efficiently. By reducing both inflammation and toxin buildup, chia seeds allow the kidneys to rest and regenerate. The data is clear. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 150 adults aged 50 and older for 3 years. Those who consumed at least 2 grams of omega-3 from chia daily showed a 25% lower risk of chronic kidney disease progression. That's not a supplement, that's food therapy backed by evidence. And the secret to unlocking chia's full power lies in how you prepare it. Always soak the seeds in water for 15 minutes before eating. This helps them expand, forming a gentle gel that's easier to digest and maximizes nutrient absorption. You can mix it into yogurt, smoothies, or even a glass of lemon water. Adding a squeeze of fresh lemon not only enhances flavor, but boosts antioxidant uptake, multiplying chia's kidney protective effect. Think of chia seeds as nature's quiet healer. Small, simple, but incredibly consistent. 1 spoon a day won't just lower inflammation, it gives your kidneys breathing room to recover. That's how healing begins, not with extreme diets, but with small, steady acts repeated every day. But there's still one final piece to this puzzle, a protein source from the ocean that completes this healing circle. Rich in omega-3s, gentle on the kidneys, and scientifically proven to reduce the risk of dialysis, this next food might be the most important discovery of all. Because knowing about chia is powerful, but the next protein could determine how fast your kidneys truly heal. If chia seeds are the quiet warriors that fight inflammation on land, then mackerel is the ocean's gift that brings healing through the bloodstream. After all, your kidneys don't just need less waste, they need better blood flow to stay alive. And few foods nourish circulation and filtration like this humble fish. I once met Robert, a 67-year-old retired engineer who was tired of bland kidney diets. He had cut out meat, gave up salt, and said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm surviving, not living." His blood flow was sluggish, creatinine still high, and his hands often cold. I asked him to try something simple too, small servings of baked mackerel each week. He laughed, "Fish won't fix this." 3 months later, his lab numbers and his energy told a different story. His eGFR had improved by nearly 6 points. His blood pressure stabilized, and for the first time in years, his face looked alive again. The secret lies in what's inside this fish. Mackerel is packed with EPA and DHA, two premium forms of omega-3 that reduce inflammation, protect blood vessels, and support smooth glomerular filtration. These fatty acids don't just reduce swelling, they make the kidney's microscopic filters more elastic, improving their ability to remove toxins without strain. Meanwhile, omega-3s also enhance nitric oxide production, widening blood vessels and lowering blood pressure, both critical for preventing kidney decline. Science reinforces this power. In the cardiovascular health study, researchers tracked 170 adults over 65 for 4 years and found that those who ate mackerel or other oily fish at least twice a week had a 28% lower risk of chronic kidney disease progression. Their creatinine levels stabilized and filtration efficiency improved significantly compared to those who rarely ate fish. To get these benefits, safely choose wild-caught or responsibly farmed mackerel and cook it gently. The best method is foil baking with a few slices of lemon and a drizzle of olive oil. This technique preserves omega-3s and prevents fat oxidation that would otherwise produce kidney-stressing compounds. Avoid frying. The high heat destroys the good fats and replaces them with toxins. Even better, pair your mackerel meal with steamed vegetables or quinoa for balanced phosphorus and sodium levels. In doing so, you're not just eating for taste, you're engineering your bloodstream for recovery. Think of every bite as a microdose of medicine designed by nature itself. Mackerel reminds us that kidney healing isn't about restriction, it's about intelligent nourishment. When blood flows freely and inflammation fades, the kidneys finally get the oxygen and nutrients they need to repair themselves. That's how you turn survival into vitality. But remember, diet alone is only half the story. There's a daily habit even simpler than eating right, one that costs nothing, yet multiplies every dietary benefit you've just learned. Because just knowing these foods isn't enough in the final moments, I'll reveal one effortless habit that can improve filtration and lower blood pressure faster than any supplement ever could. You've made it all the way here, and that already tells me something powerful about you. You're not someone who gives up. You're someone who wants to understand your body to protect it, to live stronger and longer. Every small change you make today, one smarter protein, one better drink, one mindful walk, is an investment. Your kidneys will thank you for every single day. So here's my gentle challenge. Don't just watch this video and move on. Save it, keep it as your daily reminder, and subscribe to this channel right now so you never miss the next piece of science-based guidance. Every week I share simple, practical strategies to help you lower creatinine, improve filtration, and protect your kidneys naturally without fear, confusion, or overwhelm. Turn on the bell icon because knowledge is only powerful when it arrives on time. Remember, your kidneys are quiet workers. They never complain until it's almost too late. But when you start caring for them, truly caring, they respond with energy, clarity, and peace. Healing doesn't always happen overnight, but it happens with consistency and hope. So keep going, keep learning, and keep believing that your body still knows how to heal. It just needs your partnership. This is Dr. Johnny reminding you that your next meal, your next walk, and your next choice can change your health story forever. Stay well, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover another simple secret to help your kidneys thrive.